Hello, man's inner path. In plain English, I'll tell you something nearly no one has ever told you. Usually women. Men don't know how closeness affects their bodies and minds. Nothing is your fault. I'm guilty. We've lived on urban legends and Hollywood blockbusters for years. To read romance novels and take friends' bad advice. In consequence, absolutely devastating. Number of women who have slept with men who are complete emotional strangers. Now for the hard part, my hi readers. You're trying to find out if he's thinking about you or someone else. Whether even though he's experiencing something different, your body still tracks him. You can visualize it. The ignorance divide is destroying partnerships, unions, and changing. Fears surround intimacy instead of what it should be, connection. Profound. I'll paint a familiar picture in a moment. Weekend. Tonight is it. Your bedtime. It was unplanned. You lie down. Questions flood your head as you look up at the ceiling. A fan? Has he noticed my small weight gain? Was he there or daydreaming? Will I work? Do I still attract him? In the meantime, he's with you, perhaps silent. You blame your ineptitude on the silence. Can anyone explain? How are they feeling internally? Probably not. This disconnect isn't. Not easy. Males come from Mars and females from. The only thing is Venus. This separation has real consequences because you can't understand him or his struggles. When the link is absent, my dear buddy, intimacy is fleeting. Sex intimacy is the connection indication. All issues are reflected there. All those worries and misgivings. The disturbing truth awaits you. In this case, learn how men view intimacy by studying it. You read his nonverbal cues. Your worries. You are misinterpreting his actions because you are using your manual. Believe me, that's like read a Japanese novel to test your Spanish. No guessing. You'll get the gist, but never the narrative. I can't emphasize this enough. Not meant to be disrespectful. I tell you this because there is a solution. That gap can be closed by women who don't share beds with men. His feelings, thoughts, and experiences are well grasped. It must be done. When you do that, dear reader, everything changes. However, before you arrive, some myths must be debunked. Get rid of them. All the glorified masculine sexuality they sold you. Because if we continue, no amount of imagining will bring us there. I guarantee the reality is more interesting, diversified, and practical than these hypotheticals. Fantasy. The biggest myth is that men just care about sexuality. Totally false. Indeed, the men's intimate encounters go beyond analyzing their high sex drive, like saying you just care about shoes or romance novels. Male intimacy is being overpowered by emotions, thoughts, worries, and desires. Relationship and worries. They're multifaceted people, not machines, meant for one playthrough. Some more misinformation, and the lack of alternatives. Consequently, he no longer wants you. My love, this urban tale has caused immense harm. No toggle exists for male sexual response, especially after 40. This is incompatible. A thunderclap. Anxiety, fatigue, and stress contribute. Self-imposed stress causes hormonal changes. Misconception. Inability to get or retain an erection. Your yearning for you complicates a tricky issue. Your actions are worsening their situation. It feeds your fears, continuing the cycle. Third misunderstanding. The new elements intrigue men. Some of the story was told, but just half the past. Like female brains, male brains activate dopamine circuits in reaction to novelty. As agreed, you probably didn't know it activates deeper circuits. Integrity, rapport, and shared vulnerability. Men may have casual sex forever. He'll never feel the same after making passionate love to a woman he cares about. Profound. Lack of personal experience makes many men unaware of its existence. And, dear reader, the title question is here. What does be within oneself mean? We met. When a man makes love to you, how does it feel? Then he makes love to you, not during sex. In particular, love, because we shall emphasize the key difference with due gravity. Physical is the most fundamental stage. Of course, physical sensations are strong for guys. His physique was to experience pleasure precisely. Evolution designed it this way. We already know reproductive mechanisms, which they haven't told you. The ones. Physical feelings are merely the tip of the iceberg, no matter how strong. The instant a man makes out with you, only you, the woman who, he chooses someone he knows and has a history with, which is intriguing. Mental ability. Stimulates oxytocin, bonding, and emotional connection. The amazing hormone that promotes belonging. Your brain, actually. It changes gears. Connecting and surrendering replaces exploring and conquering. My love, you must understand this, pal. In connection mode, the man is vulnerable. It's sensitive despite appearances, despite his traditional masculinity. Taught to appear confident and in charge during that intimate moment, his essence is revealed. He has more than just his body on display. His hunger for you, acceptance, and sufficiency on your behalf. Does it startle you? It's probably the most accurate. Some secret male sexuality traits? Fear also grips them. Worried about failing. Enough. Fear of disappointing you. Worry of not pleasing you, and anxiety that you worry about breaking that link when comparing. Their trouble is that they've spent their lives hiding their worries, secretly hiding it with bravado, bluster, and quiet. How does he feel when he makes out with you? One is his first feeling. Sexual desire is not abstract. The desire, centered on connecting with you, your body, and yes, your essence. Wanting sexual contact with another individual. Having sexual contact with them. Anyone would work initially. A single element in the second. The body can meet that demand. Sense the anticipation. He's already imagining your reaction and happiness. Despite that, men who feel emotionally connected to you aren't just thinking about their own climax, according to popular assumption. My thoughts are with you. He is considering ways to provide you joy, satisfaction, and that feeling, the most enjoyable place. Why? Your acceptance confirms his manhood. Contentment affirms his skills, self-worth, and romance. Then something rare happens. This stresses him out, and women may sympathize. Because if your delight is, if their self-esteem is at stake, each sexual contact becomes difficult. Evaluation of him. Moreover, if he observes your discontent, it lowers his pride and impairs his capacity to focus on what he wants from you, felt connected to you. Let me explain a male brain notion during sexual activity. Quite intriguing. Male-female intimacy stimulates the prefrontal cortex. Controlling, thinking, and arranging it partially turns off. It seems your mind is saying, all right, not anymore. Much self-awareness is needed. We'll trust our instincts and feelings. It has. He may develop a deeper, more genuine relationship with you, which is lovely. However, this suggests he is not in charge as usual. Regarding the man who was having to let go after being conditioned to constantly be in command is exhilarating and terrifying. Freeing because, finally, freedom and stillness. Scary because it indicates exposure. It means giving up his hard-earned mastery. Then when he is, dopamine, one of numerous hormones and neurotransmitters that surge her body while you're present, gives her that painful joy, norepinephrine reward. It excites, focuses, and speeds up your heart. The hormone oxytocin. It bonds with you emotionally as it flows. Following that, the prolactin rush after an orgasmic encounter relaxes one much like sluggish thinking. This has probably never been explained to you before. That biochemical chain fails. In every sexual encounter, right? In intense emotion, love, and the happy hormone oxytocin rises rapidly. And how? Hi, reader. Oxytocin promotes attachment and bonding. We feel like way after a sexual encounter because he wants to protect, hug, and be near you. That makes him think about you the next day, long for you, and miss your company. This matters because having sex with someone who wants to return to your company is neurologically different from having sex with someone passing the time. Kissing your partner passionately. First, you might have fun, be excited, and achieve a goal. Urge, while the second bonds and remembers feeling. Profound. A man who has experienced such dissimilarity would never, understanding latent emotions, want more physical sex? Not at all. We can now discuss the men's private insecurities are a taboo topic. Really vital. Women face self-esteem and body image challenges daily. Delicious, given his desire. Plus, kids can talk about their anxieties and confide in those who understand. Women crave approval. Males don't. Men must carry their own crosses, unspoken worries. What are those fears? Above everything, and this magnitude will shock you. I get your thinking. Men are very interested in something that ladies don't understand. You have a billion-dollar industry, relying on men's insecurity. The frequency with which they are told size is unimportant, and what matters is their use matters. That worry persists. Why? From the beginning, ingrained in society forever. Largeness has come to imply strength, power, and value. Insecurity number 2, longevity. How long will it last? In case it ends. Overspeed makes things look inadequate. He worries you might. Being sick of it and no longer enjoying it means something's wrong. Walking this line is delicate. Also, pressure never changes. Third, your pleasure is insecure. Feel it's delivering? Liked it? Is this acting? Is it truly enjoyable or just displaying kindness? Fear is especially strong because he knows. Many women perform orgasms. It appears in novels, radio, and movies. That said, while you enjoy every moment, he doubts its sincerity. Concern number 4, the contrast. What's his comparison to your former partners? He's superior? Is it worse? Something new? He may not confess it, but he is always insecure, especially if he knows. Before meeting him, were you more sexually free or have partners? Now something else. You must grasp this essential concept. All these anxieties add up to his assessment of your intimacy. He can't relax if he's worried about a performance. Being there for someone doesn't guarantee their best. And this becomes clear when he's absent. It's just space to you. Something seems odd, like no link. After that, start, surmise, presume, and create imaginary scenarios that may differ greatly from the ones. The truth. How do we proceed? Can this be stopped? Lack of understanding? You must comprehend that his silence is not disinterest. When men are, his silence after making love does not indicate disinterest in you, displeasure with the encounter, or thoughts of someone else. She may be thinking about it since her brain is so relaxed after the explosion. His speech is effortless, or he loves being with you and feels your warmth. But in this scenario, therein lies the issue, reader. Women like us must. In other words, we need his word that everything is well, he is happy and he had fun. Furthermore, once those words aren't said, our anxieties and doubts take over. We expect the worst. Make designs. Without them, there are no dramas. Do not force him to speak when he is not ready. Self-education is vital. Decipher their different communication ways. Since men talk only, they don't always speak. Deeds are their language. If he embraces you thereafter, if he hugs, strokes your hair, or holds you, touching someone reassures him that everything is fine. His happiness shows his appreciation for you, but we need to investigate. Since this poem is about intimacy and emotional connection, men are taught to separate sexuality and emotions. They've been taught that sex is a physiological need that can be satisfied pretty much automatically. This type of sexual connection is common among men, which are cheerful but pointless, however. When a man feels emotionally close to another, he feels safe and free to express himself in his first sexual contact with a loved one. When he relaxes, he discovers a side of himself he didn't know he had. He understood that some things change your life. That happened, from his deep emotional connection with you. He is making love, not. Physical intimacy is pleasure for him. To belong means to be seen, accepted, and desire for more than your contributions. Who they are matters more than their acts. Dear friend, that's something many men search often without realizing it, because men, like women, have intrinsic desire to be acknowledged, liked, and appreciated, but they've learned to repress it. They've been taught to hide and deny necessity. They've been taught that having needs hides their true needs. Being emotionally dependent is weak and feminine. A real guy is independent. Finishing now. Listen, this nasty deceit has left men of all ages emotionally alone. So, even as he fights you in that intimate moment, he has fought years of socio-cultural conditioning that makes her avoid vulnerability. They refuse to realize that they need you, even though your relationship is vital to their mental well-being. That fight, though, dear reader, internal sex is exhausting. It causes problems for many males. To maintain emotional closeness, this leads to our following statement about manhood. We must talk intimately about fantasies. Lots of men imagine. I'm not. Secret. Your brain creates images, scenarios, and situations when you're intimate. There may be fantasies. But you must understand this. You should not be ignored because he daydreams. That's enough. This doesn't mean he doesn't like you or wants to be with someone else. The brain employs fantasies to stimulate, engage, and explore. The possibilities are normal, healthy, and contrary to what many women believe. Recognizing emotional distress signs, they do not threaten their tie. This becomes problematic when you see their fantasies and assume they don't like or approve of you. That's enough. I guarantee that reading can damage a couple's relationship. If so, what? How to handle dreams. You must first acknowledge their existence. Claim them, a personal issue. Third, and this may seem severe, consider can we indulge in some of those urges in a supportive setting where we both feel comfortable? Comfortable. Simply said, when a couple can share their deepest ambitions without judgment. Unfortunately, without rejection, tight bonds strengthen. However, this is the warning. Sharing fantasies requires trust and emotional stability. Given that, with intense envy, insecurity, or avoid sparking a fire with fantasies. Remember it when you recognize your emotional security in this connection and behave accordingly. Right now, presenting at the event is sometimes ignored but crucial. Personal bond. Because you can be with your spouse but not think of them. Location, shopping list, meeting tomorrow, and disagreement they had too. Some days, he notices if you close the door and leave. He may not say it or mention it, but he feels it. Gut tells him he can't. Being there also disarms him. Presence is a blessing. The greatest present you can give your partner is intimacy. Giving your spouse your full attention. Use your body, mind, and heart. Look into his eyes, breathe deeply, and enjoy every hug, kiss, and contact. Work with him physically and energetically after achieving perfect presence. Both are altered by the occurrence. However, full presence is difficult. People today are always on the go, juggling 1,000 tasks. Simultaneously, requires practice, intention, and that before. If you need a break, breathe deeply, focus, and ignore your husband. Let the space, your worries, your unfinished business, and any problems overwhelm you. Just to feel, bond. Next, something else you probably didn't know about. Your presence during intimacy is valued. Your faultless physique, technique, and sexual acrobatics matter most to him. Being present, engrossed, connected, open, loving it all, is presence. Yes, that. He wants it. That makes him happy. Deep. Answering, what does a man feel when he makes love to you, involves feeling, regardless of location. Check if you're engaged, if your thoughts wander. Sit there and assess if you're having fun or just acting. And that perception profoundly affects experience. Allow me to present a somewhat different idea. Orgasm, especially, is controversial but necessary. You must understand the complex dynamics of orgasm in women. Lots of men. Orgasm should be your first priority, especially if you're emotionally mature. Ahead of him. Why? Because your climax proves several things to him. Things. He's a good lover first. Furthermore, you want him. Enough to subdue you. Finally, chemistry. In private. Fourth, the correlation is real. Dear reader, during your orgasm, strong affirmation for him. The issue is this. Lots of ladies. Staged orgasms. Among other reasons, they do so to avert shame on men. to get things done faster, avoid awkward topics, and cheer up their companion. Immediately now, it is not a white lie or harmless stunt, despite appearances, because phony orgasms build intimacy on deceit. The fact that due to unhelpful actions, he's missing out on important knowledge that could help him progress. By your side, love. One more thing. Trying too hard is noticed by most men. They may not accuse you, but their suspicion breeds. Being absent makes me feel insecure and untrustworthy. Kindly, stop pretending your relationship and privacy are fine. Don't worry if you didn't orgasm. Some don't. Sex should usually end in climax. Various pleasures exist. A variety of connections exist. You must tell her what makes you happy and what you require. Not at all, what are your needs? Also, similar discussion can. Without communication, progress is impossible and painful. Openly discussing personal relationships is guessing. They assume, in sexual connections, assumptions inevitably fail. We can now discuss because you probably argued about frequency. The elephant in the room. You may have heard that males are always seeking more sexual encounters. For women, less is more. This also has biological roots in levels of the testosterone menstrual cycle interaction is more complicated. Many women don't realize that. Men, especially relationship-focused ones, sex involves connecting with another individual. It's his attempt to connect with you emotionally. He shows his love this way. Rejecting his advances repeatedly creates, though subtle, he will always hear, "I don't want you. You look curious." This offends me deeply. The opposing opinion is here. Sexually engaging with him, he experiences it for responsibility, time, or happiness. He senses it. Lack of desire manifests as a sense of duty rather than excitement. This is horrible too. It fails to satisfy him since he doesn't want a body. The value of self-reflection. Rather cool. He wants a woman that likes, loves, and is fun with him. How about that one? Can you help me fix this frequency issue? There's no secret recipe. Pairs must find theirs. Find balance. However, I guarantee that. Sincerity and honesty matter. Communicate your needs. A discussion of what affects their libido up and down. Do not criticize, judge, or denigrate others when speaking, whether wrong or not. I also have practical recommendations to change your sex life. Prioritize closeness. Of course. Yes, I know. It may seem cold and planned in relationships, yet length, especially with children, demanding jobs, obligations, and unanticipated sexual encounters. They want it more often. Scheduling then. One way to prioritize it. We appreciate this. The plan is to add it to our life. Scheduled sex isn't always boring, despite common opinion. Due to anticipation, knowing what's coming, and being on the same page, it may be thrilling. They can change their environment to prepare mentally and physically. Try it. The 6th date. Duration and effectiveness of intimacy planning. Right now, aging has real and disputed consequences on many variables, which we must address. Sexuality, in guys, both of your bodies change throughout time, and assuming these changes are minor is denial. Let me share the good news. No matter how, these things change, but connection, joy, and genuine closeness do not. Amount decreases, and it can rise. 50-year-old men will not experience the same. Now, your libido is more inconsistent than when you were young. Your erection may take longer, require more stimulation, or ease up. Refractory period time. Distance between orgasmic experiences grows over time. Everything is typical. It works like this. Age is inevitable, but most importantly, it does not reduce his love for you. Finished. He is hence non-sexual. This does not mean the sexual relations have terminated. This means they must adjust. They must explore other pleasures to extend their definition. About sex transcending penetration. Many relationships fail because they insist on keeping a sexuality model that worked in their 20s or 30s but is outdated. Also, instead, they stop being intimate, attempting new things, and exploring new pleasures. I promise this decision will end the relationship. So don't take it personally if your partner's sexual response changes. Keep an open mind. The cause is you. Avoid self-talk like, I'm not attractive anymore. There must be someone else, and he doesn't desire me anymore. Instead, discuss the changes and research together. Different sorts of connection, since this enormous universe has limitless joy potential. Older than 20. The nice thing happens here. Couples that can handle these adjustments report feeling more intimate because they can chat and be honest. They can't escape sex. They're studying passionate intimacy. They discover that pleasure doesn't require an explosive orgasm or strong erection. Being close in a gentle embrace, lingering kiss, deep eye contact, an opportunity to relax. Currently I want you to understand the importance of admiration in a relationship, which many women don't. Sexuality in guys. Men want to be admired and valued by you, not just sought. Making him feel important, capable, and competent is crucial. When you admire his work, his successes and importance ignite him. Her desire for you rises. Why? Because women admire males. It's aphrodisiac, stimulating male desire. He is defined by this. He keeps trying to win you over. Many long-term partnerships have this issue. Admiration. Once taken for granted, it disappears. Instead of thanking him, she focuses on his inaction. Don't understand. Plus, the constant whining and nitpicking. It kills men's libido like nothing else. Dear reader, if you want a fulfilling sexual life, rekindling your love for your partner is the first step to improvement. Look for his positive traits intentionally, as well as deliver. Your mom works hard for the family. Tell her you will. You prefer how he solved it. Let him know you like his take on that item, and witness his reaction. See his transformation by admiration. There must be no manipulation. We reject false affection for reciprocation. Lies will be revealed. It must be genuine. Even if not, unable to find something genuine to like about your partner isn't only a lack of love. On proximity, choosing a partner is hard. Please stop bothering me. It leads you to the undead, a darker yet important domain. Because both of you bring your pasts, traumas, and other experiences to bed. Also, those ghosts, we may deny it, yet they affect our intimacy. He would have past love relationship who sexually rejected him, lowered his self-esteem, and sharply criticized his work. Wounds might cause performance anxiety, problems relaxing, and other symptoms. As an obsessive obsession with approval, caused by your past demons. They want you. This affects you too. Were there any unpleasant incidents? In that case, abuse, betrayal, and rejection affect how you feel close now. They can make you withdraw, isolate you. You can't give yourself fully, no matter how much you want. Also, he can feel walls. It irritates, perplexes, and alarms him that you must be broken because he can't reach some parts of you. Very poor. No simple solution exists for this. Discussion of terrible events doesn't erase them, but it does need. Name them, admit them, and tell him, I have this. He should inform you whether he feels the same way about a former matter that affects his intimacy. Ghosts lose their power once acknowledged. They are no longer nighttime monsters, self- and awareness thoughts. Shadows are real, manageable difficulties. If you're struggling, my friend, consider individual treatment, or a broken heart needs two to repair. Asking for help is daring and insightful, not embarrassing. We must also examine masculine sexuality beyond self-love. Totally captivating. Comparing new and old is crucial since men's brains react strongly to new experiences, which create stress. Novel sights, sounds, and tastes boost brain dopamine circuits. For some men, pornography offers limitless novelty. It takes a click, but true closeness and connection require more. Through familiarity and competence, shared vulnerability can only develop inside the other. How can we satisfy both areas? Can things be exciting while being familiar? That's the question. Having diverse experiences with the same person may be as novel as having numerous partners. They can try different positions, games, and ideas by switching rhythms. Intensity atmosphere, ability to surprise each other, ability to keep, unpredictability, curiosity, and discovery. Keep going. Innovative people work hard, have a goal, and avoid the pitfalls of monotony, doing the same thing in the same place, stifles disinterest. It makes sex seem mechanical and predictable, killing it. When was the last time you and your partner were surprised in a romantic setting? When was the last time they attempted something new sexually? It's time-consuming, which is a problem. We know part of the answer, but it's crucial to remember that novelty doesn't always mean harshness. You don't have to do dangerous things or become a sex acrobat. Introducing a personal gesture when he usually starts it, whether by moving or hearing something. It could be using anything different. Even small changes can have a big influence, which you never told him. Tremendous consequences. Let me share a topic with you, my distinguished reader. Despite its importance, individuals rarely pay attention to it. Want, not to please him or do your job. Marriage is your true, independent desire because, unfortunately, many women, especially after a lengthy marriage, have children. The pressures of daily life sap their libido. They see seeing sex as a part of their identity and start seeing it as a service. I guarantee this destroys the couple's intimacy. A man wants a woman who wants him badly, not one who sleeps with him because she has to. He enjoys sexual activities as much as he does. When you're apart, whenever you make sex a chore, he knows. And how can you restore motivation? First, you need to. When you discover that having sex is now mechanical and without desire, you must admit you've lost it. Second, determine what stopped the urge, exhaustion, or the stress, hormones, unpleasant relationships, trauma. Thirdly, and most significantly, determine why problems remain unresolved. You need to prioritize your happiness over his. Allow yourself to explore your body, sexuality, and options. Whatever makes you happy, reading sensual content, masturbating, or exploring your body, is fine. Fourth, tell him what you require and what you find objectionable. Give her instructions, and tell her if you need more time to get aroused. Discussing sexuality is awkward but important. Some words or actions separate you. Clarify them. Fifth, this may seem ridiculous, but it's crucial. Although it contradicts what I said, you must also accept when, because many sex therapists say so, you may not feel like it at first. Many women, especially older ones, don't suddenly want something. A strong desire for sexual intercourse. Stimulation, caresses, and context affect intimacy. So waiting till you're ready could lead to allow yourself to be receptive to the concept by stating, okay, you say, what the hey, we'll see what happens when I stimulate my body. You'll find a desire often, and that mindset, honest communication benefits you and your marriage. Okay, let's begin. Although it's challenging, monogamous couples require sexual exclusivity because being each other's only sexual source is a duty. It's important to keep the flame alive and never take it for granted. Unfortunately, many will realize that if their sexual needs aren't met, somebody will. Adultery disgusts me. However, I believe one partner feels exposed and unfulfilled when a couple goes weeks or months without sexual contact. Like you, she wants to feel complete, and if he can't give you that emotional connection, proximity, concentration, and exposure to another, someone else to meet it. Unfortunately, dear reader, infidelity is rarely caused by terrible behavior. Since their relationship is strained and a new person appears, they sue, unethically. It seems to fill those gaps. Now, are they? In a committed relationship, you must avoid filling each other's needs and wants. Being present is more important than pleasing others or being perfect. Being present and willing to work on that interpersonal component is crucial. In addition, a major imbalance. If their needs exceed the other person's willingness to offer, they need it. Sexual incompatibility is real, thus they must discuss it. It is naive to think love is enough and that it is unimportant. Love is release of control over things one cannot control. Compatibility in all areas of life, including sexuality, is essential for healthy relationships. Important ones. Let me explain the masculine brain. Disbelieve it. When a man orgasms while loving his female partner, he feels an oxytocin rush in his brain like the lady. The oxytocin makes him bond. On the contrary, the relationship bonds him to you emotionally. Despite popular belief, men experience sexual love in different ways than women. Maybe women, but not with the same startling ferocity, but gradually with practice. Sharing more meaningful personal experiences strengthens the relationship. It grows and becomes vital to their mental well-being. This is intriguing. For many men, the sexual closeness is necessary for emotional closeness. Women typically want emotional connection before sex. Instead, sexual activity opens the door to emotional bonding. Can you distinguish? Many women remark, "I won't want to have sex until we connect emotionally." It's crucial. Men believe, "I can't connect emotionally until we have sex." Nobody leaves, and no one gets what they need. Identifying these differences and finding a means to keep one from giving in and the other from winning is crucial. For satisfying both needs simultaneously, make room for emotional connection spots. They should develop ways to be sexually intimate without intercourse or an ideal emotional attachment. I know it's tricky, but it's possible. Now, esteemed reader, you must discuss the hardest topic. When a relationship goes months or years without physical contact, unease, anxiety, or disinterest in sexual intercourse with your spouse is natural. Moving forward starts with acknowledging the end of that chapter. Sexless relationships are more common than you think. You have company. Up to 20% of married couples face this situation, according to study. You are not weird, abnormal, or alone. Second, since a relationship can thrive without physical contact, it cannot last forever. It survives but can't thrive or reach its potential. Nice considering they're housemates, not lovers. Lastly, determine what shattered the intimacy. A specific occurrence. Was it a bad event, betrayal, or years of decline? Accumulated resentment, unresolved issues, disinterest. Medical specialists, you must find a cause to remedy a problem. Fourth, mention the topic. This is perhaps the most important. The hardest thing you'll say to your partner is, "We have." Issue, "We need to discuss the period since we were intimate." Yes, this will be uncomfortable and he may react defensive. Fifth, your presence is crucial, even if it has negative consequences. Eager to solve the problem. If it were easy, they would have found it already. Replenishing sexual closeness after A. A prolonged drought requires patience, tolerance, and exposure. Expert help may be needed, and you must both be committed to the process. Because it lasts. When one spouse accepts a life without intimacy and refuses to change, the relationship suffers. The other party does not. Thus, they must make painful decisions due to unfairness. Because they can't share a house when a basic need isn't supplied. Nobody likes it. Therefore, we may analyze what many people get wrong. What distinguishes doing the? Clearly, love and sex are different. Your spouse may be having sexual relations with you without physical contact, or you may not notice. That's because you're misinterpreting some signals. Making love requires deep eye contact. Eye contact, especially nonverbal, implies vulnerability and openness. This signifies they are present in body and spirit. Mental intimacy is greatest when two people make love. The experience goes beyond physicality. Sexual action, however, it may be giving into a desire without any human factor. It can happen without eye contact, verbal exchange, or emotional investment. Now comes the exciting part. You can have amazing sex. You can have sex and make love even if you're not perfect. Many elements, including technical proficiency, presence, intention, and when you ask a man about his emotions during an intense meeting, his response depends on whether, is he really loving you or just acting sexually? There's a big difference, my friend. I'll tell you something you might not believe. Be aware that you may have been having sex, even if you haven't made love in years. Has never gone beyond the surface, lacking true connection. Don't be discouraged if they've merely scratched the surface. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to get closer, but you'll need to work at it. We must both decide before we can intend. Please continue. Real depth-seeking relationship takes time and work to create because It takes practice to pay attention, be present, and... Hello, I want to discuss the initiation ritual with you. Who starts intimacy? What does it mean when one partner declines an offer? This is a complicated topic. Many partnerships are plagued by miscommunication and hurt feelings. A man usually starts it, and the other follows. Response is up to the individual, and this trend might become problematic over time. A continually moving person feels like a beggar, always needing to ask or plead. The respondent feels like a commodity whose only purpose is to satisfy the want. Regaining your true self. Another, the answer is here. Second alternative. No matter how much you resist starting, do it occasionally despite your discomfort. Surprise him. Initiative, as several signals are sent early. Your presence is alluring, and I want to spend time with you. My dear, it's impressive for a man, but here's another perspective. When rejecting his advances, be careful, because even a little stings. Yes is always right, and you should never be scared to say no. However, a few. Give a reason for your rejection rather than ignoring it. I'm fatigued from today's activities, but I'll fill in tomorrow. I'm not feeling it, but if you want to cuddle, I'm here. Or give them credit for trying. I respect your desire for me, but I cannot fulfill it today. Minor details. It greatly affects the outcome if you keep rejecting it, especially after a long time. If he avoids discussion because he believes you'll reject him, respond. Take charge to show him you can change his behavior. You still want that part of the connection and aren't ready to let go. Let's discuss something psychologically fascinating. Expectation influences men's libido, since one is not. It must be constructed now, not in the past or in one's thoughts. First, imagine what happened. Plus, I have an idea. Gain their attention and communicate to strengthen their desire. Whisper anything about the nocturnal event in public, so no one else can hear. Can hear. Touch him gently. Wear a specific outfit. You know she likes these little seeds that bloom at night when planted during the day. The cautionary tale begins if you set expectations and fail to meet them. Heating and cooling something causes frustration and hatred. Instead, manufacture it. If you mean it, utilize anticipation. Never manipulate or insinuate. The regulatory approach is callous and horrible. Next, my esteemed reader, I have something vital to say. Keeping up with your sex life is controversial yet crucial. Pleasant to your date. Let me explain before you object. Please note that I'm not advocating for a 20-year-old body type. Prioritizing your health and wellness, not getting a facelift or going to the gym and hurting yourself. To take care of your appearance, cleanliness, and hygiene. When you never change out of your pajamas, you disregard your personal hygiene. First impressions matter, but what do you say when you put on your best clothing and makeup before going out? Is it sending? Despite your advice, he doesn't think the world deserves your finest. He's not worth your time, unlike strangers. I know you're fatigued. I know you're busy and feel like you shouldn't have to work after all these years together. However, relationship labor is eternal, which is disturbing. No, try to be someone your spouse wants to be with, not just someone they love. This applies to you and him. He must also take care of himself and prevent neglect. This should reflect how much they value each other as a couple. You see, investing in your health and well-being is more than just that. He believes it boosts your confidence and self-esteem by making you appear good. A good self-esteem gives you confidence and assurance. Self-confidence is attractive, so prioritize your health, not because to achieve an impossible ideal, not to keep up with younger women, but because you are deserving. You deserve to like your reflection in the mirror, therefore love yourself. Representation. Your sex life reflects your mental and emotional well-being. Discuss stress's health implications, which are often underestimated but crucial. Emotional connection. We don't sleep alone because all of our life events, when you're depressed, anxious, or upset, constant anxiety reduces intimacy. It affects mood, testosterone, and cortisol equally in men and women. What was once fun becomes a chore, and they quit having sex. They are vibrant. Unfortunately, under pressure, you probably last on your list is intimacy, physical connection, and sex. They are the key to stress management. This is a cycle. Stress causes decay, while to solve this problem, see how intimacy increases stress. Damage it deliberately. Instead of cutting off personal relationships when upset, get closer. She wants a hug, snuggle, or touch you. Direct physical contact decreases cortisol, boosts oxytocin, and hope you're doing better. If you and the other person are open, that first interaction could lead to more. This also applies to severe mental health difficulties can worsen depression, anxiety, and trauma. Your ability to connect, feel joy, and be present are affected. It takes more than willpower to overcome this. Consult professionals. Be honest with yourself when seeking medical help. Partner. Explain what's happening. If he can't understand that, not being sexually attracted is related to your health, not who you are or how you feel about him. His interpretation may be wrong, thinking you no longer want or need it. You do not love him. I must discuss a sensitive topic, but most crucially, pornography, since pornography causes anxiety, insecurity, and pain in many males. Insecurity in women stems from inadequacy, comparison, and swapped out. He doesn't watch porn. Pornographic images activate the brain circuits for inferiority. It's not designed to replace you, but it's fresh and thrilling. A unique encounter, but crucially, pornography becomes a problem when it disrupts ordinary life. When he establishes intimacy with you, chooses pornographic content over your companionship. Interacting with idealized sex becomes a fixation that won't go away. Would enjoy. Don't tolerate your partner's major pornographic issues. You can solve it alone. He should admit he needs help. Walter Riso Proverbs. Therapy, support groups, and focus addiction therapy are effective, but not perfect. Experimenting, trying harder, or looking hotter won't help. The problem is within. Let me explain. Competing with your obligation is to be authentic, not to act out your dreams. Be sincere and bond instead of faking it. What if he can't? If fantasy is more important than reality, it must be addressed. However, if his pornographic conduct is rare and doesn't affect his sexual life with you, if he does it occasionally, decide if you can handle it. The decision is subjective. It's fine if some women don't like it. Knowing your tolerance levels is most important. I'll take you to 2 sites. Understanding masculinity, male sexuality, and how it affects behavior is vital, where men have sexual interactions, since men don't come with a rule book for proper behavior. Sexually, they learn a lot. Contradictions and high expectations. One side says they must conquer. Everyone tells them to be the bedroom boss and sensitive. Listen, guys should care about women's pleasure and ask. Agree but act independently. They must be brave but vulnerable. Do you understand? There's a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty suffers from insecurity, worry, poor performance, and absence anxiety. Selecting the right option. Additionally, their ability to being here, having fun, interacting in a committed relationship. He's under some pressure at home to meet expectations. Many of them conflict. She's trying to meet your expectations while managing her own. He's insecure about his masculinity and achievement. You might have a big influence by alleviating him of those burdens and telling him he doesn't need to. Guys should strive for excellence, not be sexually superhuman. And it's okay if, when things go wrong, the relationship counts most. Doing nothing, when a guy is no longer expected to be perfect. Beauty and relaxation occur when something is embraced for what it is, vulnerabilities and all. He relaxes, connects, is present, and enjoys, without ongoing self-evaluation. Let me explain. Men experience intimacy because their self-esteem is affected by performance. Many men have a strong sexual connection. If he's pleasing, good in bed, and orgasmic, he's decent, sufficient, and crucial. You can see his problem. Your words and that affect his self-esteem. If you don't react as he expects, don't get aroused quickly, or he views a lack of orgasm as a sexual response anomaly, not a personal failure. Open and honest discussion is necessary for this and other reasons. Discussing sexuality is crucial and challenging. When you are unhappy with anything, despite that he may hear, "You're not a good lover, you're not enough." What you say matters, even if you're just swaying him. How can one communicate without harming others? Make sandwiches. Encouragement. A good improvement concept. That makes me happy. I'll suggest something else that fulfills my desire. Second, do it for me. Focus on yourself, not him. That sounds fantastic. Act naturally, not because you should. You're not there. Finally, and most critically, at the neutral, quiet interval after intercourse, when he is most vulnerable, attach positive reinforcement to constructive feedback for each tiny detail. Highlight 5 of his assets when making suggestions for growth, because men, like women, they need success validation. People are more open to improvement advice when they feel validated. Trust is essential, so we must address it. Trust is needed for deep sexual connection. Trust takes time to build. Slowly, honestly, and persistently build it. Once a guy confides in you and sees you won't, if he feels safe speaking up, you will judge him without criticizing or exploiting his weaknesses. He feels comfortable sharing his biggest dreams and shortcomings with you because you won't judge. That candor, my sweetheart, allows him to ask for what you want without being self-centered. Because when both sides are fully exposed, reader, proximity alters drastically. Completely unfiltered, the friendship created, the spirit mingling, is beyond words. That faith is fragile. One deceit might destroy it. He was brutally criticized and teased on what he shared in. Believe in, therefore appreciate it, and keep it safe as if it were priceless, because once gone, it's gone forever. Broken trust is famously difficult to rebuild. Trust isn't just about sexual faithfulness, and believing that you support them are key. When he fails as a bad day or makes a mistake, you should encourage him, not blame him. Their flaws. Trust is needed to grow closeness. I must discuss love versus desire with you, because many ladies don't understand it. Even though he loves you, he may not want you, despite his intense affections for you. He may not love you. Both should be able to live together. But they don't usually. Internal emotional healing methods. You have to work at loving someone every day. To link forever. One is a physiological reaction, instinct. Look at it now. Attraction is when two people want to be near, intimate, or even consume each other. Many couples struggle with this as love grows, but desire fades. Paradoxically, familiarity, habit, and thorough comprehension reduce mystique. How can one maintain the longing after that first spark, that sexual tension? First, by maintaining some independence. Not becoming indistinguishable from your spouse owing to the desire requires voluntary you and me separation. Get together, but maintain certain secrets. Show them instead of telling them. Share everything, but hoard a little. Keep your intellect and heart distinct. When you're predictable, there's no surprise. Nothing new may dull interest. Third, enjoy life. Other connections, hobbies, and goals beside the romantic one. Being passionate about things, growing, and having fun outside of the partnership enriches your life. Character development makes one more intriguing, appealing, and successful. More enticing. Finally, albeit contradictory, enabling. The relationship isn't firm. I'm not talking about unnecessary drama or fabricated problems. Accepting that life isn't perfect means disagreeing and being okay. Now, anger drives all love interactions. A man's penis to stem phase. Orgasm is a fascinating brain phenomenon that deserves study. Many neurotransmitters flood the brain. Anxiety, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. A chemical cocktail of tremendous pleasure. What's most intriguing? This happens in the prefrontal cortex, which controls executive functions, including decision-making and impulse regulation. During orgasm, it stops making decisions, because a guy loses himself in the moment, in the feeling without reasonable ideas without reservations or analysis, characterized by enthusiasm. Resolution follows orgasm. Prolactin rises. It's really relaxing, bordering on sleepy. Because of this, many guys like to go to bed after sex. They love you, but, however, there is important information to know. Once an association is created, biological factors pull them to take a break. Oxytocin rises amid powerful emotions like love. Larger, and oxytocin somewhat reduces it. Love makes a man want to be near, embrace, and demonstrate his affection. Thus, after sex, connect with you rather than just turning over and sleeping. He gravitates toward you when he makes love, hugging and holding you tight. Their goal is to convey a strong emotional bond more quietly than. There was more to his feelings for you, and now there is. Please let me explain the masculine view of intimacy. The weak place is when a man is nude and physically and emotionally vulnerable to you. He can feel terrifyingly exposed when emotionally vulnerable. We define men as strong, domineering, and unyielding. Area of vulnerability. Stress release is vital to sexual activity, especially in powerful emotional connections. The contradiction between mastery, giving up, and susceptibility. Their intimate bond in education can. It stresses him out, so when he's vulnerable with you, it's amazing. He worked hard to earn this gift of trust. That opening must be protected at all costs. Conversely, it is true. It would be hurtful to bring up during a dispute. Therefore, never tell your friends. What if he does? Doing so will close that vulnerability, making it tough to reopen. This one can. Allowing oneself to be vulnerable can change your relationship. Open vulnerability and honesty between lovers deepens intimacy. Simply put, being ourselves does not lead to genuine closeness. We must own our weaknesses, fears, and insecurities for it to happen. Now is the time to discuss comparing yourself to others, which many women worry about. While intimate with him, you may question if he is thinking about other women. Men have more visual imaginations, thus embarrassing reality is possible. Furthermore, during sex, especially when intensely aroused, the brain. You need these to generate scenarios, fantasies, and images. To understand, such pictures are transitory like clouds. Because he'd rather be with someone else doesn't mean he's unhappy or that you're not good enough. You should be conscious that this is your brain's natural way of keeping you stimulated. Deep emotional relationship with you. When his love is genuine, those dreams. They are rare because they focus on you and the relationship. His presence is in everything you share. Present is rewarding enough to not run away to your biggest imagination. Instead of worrying about his thoughts, focus on building connection, a powerful, interrelated, and immediate occurrence that prevents mental wandering. Plus, it's done by maintaining chemistry through discourse, shared discovery, and presence. Expectations are tricky but necessary since you have them. The best way to have sex based on media, personal experience, and friends and family's advice. His past experiences, observations, and conceptions of normal impact his expectations. In addition, if your expectations differ from reality, letdown sets in. Not expressing it can make it worse. Resentment, annoyance, and estrangement continue. This is why discussing expectations matters. Ask each other, what do you expect from intimacy? You need what? What you want. Conciliating logic and emotion. What can you expect? What's most important? Answer honestly. Transparency without bias. After bargaining, they'll have to agree on a price. Their expectations are incompatible. One partner usually has particular demands, while the other refuses. They need not share goals, which is fine. They need to find something they can agree on, a location to unwind and guarantee their needs are addressed. Needs are being considered. Importantly, expectations alter throughout time. All you needed when you started dating may be different now. I doubt you need it right now. Therefore, this discussion about setting expectations is a constant activity that takes attention. We'll talk about how to improve your sex life today, because it's realistic. Today, all this theory is helpful, but you need actual instruments to use. Start with these 5 fast activities. You will initiate intimacy in the coming days. Start early. First, surprise him and show your desire. Second, when intimate, stare someone down. Not constantly, and especially not in A. Just know that he is with her. Direct eye contact can be difficult, but it is vital for building rapport. Third, show him you're paying attention by praising his body, how he makes you feel, etc. Genuine, not generic, praise, such, I love it when you touch me like this, or this part of your body drives me crazy. 4. After having intimate, stay with him instead of cleaning up or checking your phone. Something else. Stay, embrace, and breathe together. Those moments are priceless. Talking to him is step 5 in bonding, and nearly as important. Tell him anything from our conversation that stayed. Talk about what you learned. Listen to his feelings, needs, and concerns about intimacy, and ask how he is doing. Avoid defending yourself. Assume nothing and listen without judgment. Though little, they can have a big impact because they demonstrate you're interested, present, and want to connect, which is the message he needs from you. Let's talk seriously about your influence. Sexual confidence difficulties. Since you're uncomfortable in your concerns about your body, beauty, and sufficiency affect your close connections and cause you to. Walling yourself off, defending yourself, and hiding from the world hinders your submission to him. She worries that you're not there, that there's a wall, and that she'll misinterpret. His preconceptions may include thinking you're uninterested in him, uncomfortable in his presence, or unhappy for another reason. Problem in the relationship when it's your fault. Thus, develop self-esteem, self-love, and body acceptance. It is a necessity for a balanced sexual life, not a luxury. This guy won't make you feel beautiful. If you don't feel good inside, you must carry it. The irony is he'll probably find you. She may see attributes in you don't, and you find her more attractive. You ignored it because he's not looking at you through your eyes. He may find beautiful portions of your body that you find unattractive. Personal criticism. He's looking at you with longing, affection, and attentiveness. Allure. Thus, rather than fleeing, muting, or be open and welcoming instead of hiding who you are. Something is happening when it exposes you emotionally and physically. Relief, clarity, and connection result. If you're really struggling, if serious body image issues are affecting your life, see a therapist. Take deconstruction steps. You deserve a positive self-image without detrimental internal messages. So you can enjoy your sexuality without insecurity. Let me speak now. Considering a crucial issue, authorization and boundaries. The obvious reason we must not forget in our discussion of connection, surrender, and vulnerability. All sexual interaction with another person must be done when you have full physical control, unanimously agreed upon, which is inadequate and unneeded. Explanation. A man who adores you would never. She will never coerce you or make you feel awful about saying no. Dear reader, emotional manipulation to achieve aims is not love. Set your limitations, since you're in charge and must go. Declare your limits and what you won't do. Stand your ground without shame. They have value, and strong relationships respect each partner's space. Keep an open mind. Change has no limits. They stay put forever. With adulthood comes self-confidence, which you may become interested in things you were previously afraid to try as you build confidence. That's okay. Pressure, manipulation, and coercion are unacceptable. Evolution is. Now let's talk about. Foreplay is thought to be important to men. That foreplay is for women's preparation and excitement, not men's. Immediately, and they won't use them. That's somewhat true. Of course, on average, men respond faster than women. Even though they prefer direct physical intimacy, they enjoy foreplay. Foreplay is fun when both people are emotionally linked and time is not a factor. For him, too. Foreplay is the action, not background. This development includes sexual attention, exploration, and play. Enjoy things as they are, not just as a means to an end. Preparation shouldn't be seen as a necessary evil to reach the goal. The real deal, enjoy them. Learn each other's bodies. Spend some time on rich, varied foreplay. Fun elevates the sexual experience. And a secret, changing the foreplay routine will keep things exciting and surprise him. Because the brain is attentive to change and surprise, it starts unexpectedly, interested, passionate. Now, I must discuss the possibly difficult but vital topic of, although it may seem obvious, many people overlook their personal hygiene, which affects their sexual desire and enjoyment. Both couples must maintain their cleanliness for intimacy to be enjoyable. This doesn't always happen. It requires minimal personal cleanliness, such as a shower before usage. You should wash your hands daily before bed. Help with smell, texture, or other intimate health issues is part of intimate health care. Don't ignore it or hope it goes away. See a doctor. Go away because these issues affect more than just your physical health. In his sex life, if his personal hygiene issues are bothering you, contact him cautiously, but inform him since he cannot read. Thought. Never tell him there's a problem, and he'll assume everything's fine. Can we talk about something else? The impact of exercise on sex life fascinates me. Active living and regular exercise improve sexual performance in many ways. Improved self-image and confidence are the first noticeable effects. Extra energy is a plus. Being stronger, more capable, and more beautiful will boost your confidence in intimate relationships. If you're not fit, sex will tire you out quickly. Your energy and stamina increase. Thirdly, fitness lets you experience more, do more, and enjoy more. Raising blood circulation improves sexual response because arousal depends on it. Exercise releases endorphins and improves circulation. The fourth benefit, alleviates tension, boosts mood and libido. If you're unhappy with your sex life, desire will make you more open to closeness. Exercise can boost motivation if you're feeling uninspired. Regular exercise is beneficial regardless of your athletic ability. Move regularly. Walk, dance, do yoga, swim, or whatever helps. It's best to work out together to build camaraderie. Relationship promotes cooperation, releases endorphins in both parties and everything. It boosts chemistry, attraction, and desire. It's encouraging that sex improves with age. The ability to connect develops despite body and physical response changes. Sentimental, deep closeness, shared vulnerability often leads to, multiplies. Long-term couples have endured many stages of life, who know each other well, can achieve closeness that young couples struggle with. They cannot yet tap into the intimacy that develops over time and shared experiences. Overcoming obstacles as a team. So if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, your sex life can be great if you stop thinking it's over or going downhill. If you like change, curiosity, communication, and survival, the spark. This is lovely. We care less what others think as we age. This liberation lets them think freely. A more genuine, carefree, and liberated sexuality may result. They can have fun, try new things without worrying, and relax. I must now address a sensitive topic. How should we proceed? Do you no longer want your spouse? What's going on if you're no longer attracted to touch? You won't feel anything if becoming intimate with him makes you feel rejected or uninterested. Determine cause. Was it his actions, betrayal, unresolved deep offense, or something else? Do repeated actions cause slow deterioration? Or is there more? Someone else? What caught your eye? Address his action that caused you great pain. Resentment stifles desire, so counseling may help, as nothing else can. Bitterness intensifies, not fades. Problem needs immediate attention, even with gradual fading. Rekindling the spark will take effort because they fell into a routine and disconnected. It requires their participation. It requires courtship familiarity and space for the, not just physical, but emotional intimacy. You may not like your spouse because you must act now that your attention is on another person. Negative effects of emotional deceit, denial, or, in any case, physics isn't kind. And what if the attraction died forever? To revive it, if you've tried everything and believe there's no chemistry, connection, or life, staying still requires honesty. So if that's possible, be honest. When neither partner feels physically or emotionally supported, it guarantees both parties misery. I want to tell you something that could. Even though it's small, the environment matters because it determines their space. Intimacy affects intimacy quality. An unorganized bedroom, unclean, strewn with clothes, overlit, and interrupted. Instead of discouraging intimacy, design a room that invites pleasure. Although scented candles and rose petals aren't needed daily, an elaborate arrangement is. Neat and orderly with low lighting and privacy. Farewell and welcome to self-discovery. Creating this is a special space for us. And for families with young children. If people are concerned about privacy, be creative. Invest in strong security or fix your door. I can also bathe the kids in the morning while they're asleep. Use imagination. Share your thoughts on the video's ending, which includes running water and a motel. If this was helpful, please share it and let me know which part resonated. I read and answer great comments. Help a friend in need. You shouldn't stay here. The video below explains. Just click and we'll continue. It explains how to implement it.